Okay, hello everybody, and thanks for joining us this morning. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Um, so the person you just saw momentarily playing on their cell phone was Donnie Boivin. he he is the myth, the man, the legend, the guru of all things success and networking. And if you guys have followed me either here live in the group or if you're watching the replay on YouTube, you will know that I am always drumming home the concept that, you know, people build relationships and these relationships are what build your business. You know, Donnie is joining us because hold on, he has actually just come out with a book that I can't believe I just lost. But he's come out with a new book that was released this morning called Endless Stream of Referrals. And why not just let Donnie talk a little bit about it himself? How you doing, Donnie?
Good, brother. Thanks for having
All
me
right.
on here. So let me help him out a little bit. So one thing this was supposed to happen, another 20 minutes from now, but I double booked myself. So if it sounds like he's scrambling, that's 100% on me because I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, can we do this a half hours earlier? Because I totally blew up my own schedule.
Yeah.
Uh, but here we are. So for those who have never heard of me, which wouldn't surprise me too much, is I'm Donnie Boivin, CEO and founder of Success Champion, which is a podcast and magazine, a Facebook group, the Badass Business Summit, and now Success Champion Networking, where we're truly changing how the world networks. And as of today, recording this, the four-time best-selling author now. This is my fourth book to go to bestseller. That uh, uh, we just put out an endless stream of referrals. 10 ways to have referrals coming in on a daily basis, and it was released today on Amazon. So I'm pretty excited about getting that out to the marketplace and helping people really start working on their referral game because I think just a lot of people want referrals. I just think they
Yeah.
screw up the process of getting them.
Yeah, and especially in the healthcare industry and senior care in particular, the private home care agencies, we rely heavily on these referrals. And that's one of the things, especially newer agency owners struggle with tremendously. How do I get started building these referrals? How do I start building my business with them? And I read your book this morning, and you give some amazing tips in there.
Thanks, dude.
Just really common sense, get down to it. Advice on how to build your referral network and how to get it growing in the right direction. So tell us. I mean, if you had one tip above all else, what would you say if today you have to get started? You want to build your business. What is one thing that we should learn from this?
Ask everybody. I think the biggest struggle and the hurdle that people have when they come to when it comes to referrals in general is they don't have the balls to just ask a question. Hey, who do you know? And in the book, I talk about going a hell of a lot deeper than that generic ass question of who do you know, because who do you know brings nothing to mind. I can look at you right now and say, who do you know that needs to do some networking, or who do you know needs to be on podcasts? And you might come up with somebody,
Right.
but it's getting specific in it. But I think people think that they're being offensive or they're being rude or something when they ask for referrals. And what they don't understand is people really want to help.
Yeah.
People really want to open doors for you. They just don't know how. They don't know who you need to get to. They don't know who they should introduce you to. And when you ask with specific details, it gives them an opportunity to do what they were trying to do in the first place. Because it's I believe our nature to want to help others, right? Especially if we have any sort of rapport with somebody.
Right.
So it's natural to sit across from somebody and think, man, who can I introduce you to? Who can I get you to? And a lot of people want to do and help with that kind of stuff, but people don't know how to do it. So it's if I was going to give you one thing that I would tell you to do is ask everybody and then get very specific about that ask, who exactly you need to be getting to, and don't leave it generic, open ended.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually one of the things that we go over in our own training when we provide it, because I agree with you 100% here. If I come into your office and say, "Hey, Donnie, listen, if you ever need help with anything, feel free to ask," you're going to look at me and say, "Hey, I'm trying to raise this barn back here. Grab a hammer." That's
Right.
not what I'm there for, but that's might be what you need help with at that moment. I can't agree with you more. Being able to specifically say, "Hey, listen, I want you to introduce me to Sally, the social worker at ABC skilled nursing facility. Can you make that happen?" is a much better ask than, "Hey, listen, if you need help with anything,
Yeah.
let me know."
Yeah, it's a great freaking example, and in my world, a lot of times it's, hey, I'm looking for a business leader. All right, cool, business leader. That right, it leaves it too generic, but it's different than going, hey, you know what, I'm looking for this very strong, confident female. This is the gal that when she walks into a room, her presence walks in the room before she does. She'll
Right.
always find herself in a leadership role. She's not going to be somebody that just hides in the crowd. People are going to be flocking to her. When you think about that person, what name comes to mind? And that last question of when you think about that person, what name comes to mind, really helps people. And so in the book, I outlined, a whole idea of CAP, which is, what are the characteristics of the person you need to get to? What are they spending money on, the alternatives they're spending money on to that they should be spending money with you, and what problems are you specifically overcoming for them? And when you start getting specific in that ask, and I love that, hey, I need the uh, senior VP of HR, Mike Jones over at Texas Health Resources. He's in Department 13. Can you get me to Mike? When you get that specific, even if they don't know Mike personally, they'll say, well, I don't know Mike, but I may know so and so. Or they'll say things like, well, I know a Mike Jones. I don't know if it's the same one you need. Let me find out. It's allows them to start thinking very specifically about who's in their contact list, or for us older people, their Rolodex, and gets their wheels turning because they truly want to help you. I mean, if I looked at you and said, dude, grab a hammer, help me put a barn up, you're going to grab a hammer and jump in, right? People want to help. So it's just when you just got to be specific in that ask. Otherwise, they don't know how to specifically help you in this regard.
Right. Right. And I do agree with you. And especially in, like in our industry here and healthcare, and and just, we are a service business. We got into business because of our innate desire and want to help, and it's a community. So we have that. I mean, I refer to what you're talking about as the influencers network.
Yep.
We got to really build that solid in group. And it's just the same thing. It's like you're saying. I do tend to agree with you wholeheartedly. The more specific you are, don't be afraid to ask. That I think is the greatest roadblock that we all experience in business. And it's fantastic that you came out with this easy to follow book. Like I said, listen, if whoever's watching this, whether you're watching this live in the group or if you're watching this later on, I highly recommend this. The book really goes into just a brass tacks approach. Do this, do this, do this, and you're going to get this result. And that is something that's great. And the link to buy the book is in the comment section on the group, and it'll be in the show description if you're watching the replay on YouTube. You know, any parting words for those of us that are?
No, I mean the book's always going to be 99 cents. If I could do it for completely free, always on Amazon, I would have done it. For me, this particular book is not about making money. My other books, I make money off of, right? There's
Right.
there's a point. This book, I didn't want the fluff. I didn't want the background stories. I didn't want anything. I wanted you to pick the book up, be able to read it in one sitting, and get applicable, I can't say that word, tactics that you can apply right now, and you could do. So you could pick one and say, okay, I'm doing this one and go. So that's the entire point of the book as a whole. So if referrals is something you want more of in your life, and you want a really a no BS way of quickly getting an influx of referrals on a regular basis, grab the book and dive in and watch how quickly you can get referrals coming into your business.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much, Donnie. We really appreciate you taking our time and sharing this information and sharing this amazing book of yours. It's definitely a worthwhile read, and something that I think will be very beneficial, just to anyone that wants to read it. For those of you in the group or those of you watching the channel, first of all, if you're on the YouTube channel, do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And please, by all means, check out Donnie's book. And the links are all going to be down below. Also, you can check out his Facebook group, Success Champions, and there'll be other important information on his group, um, his networking. It's just badass networking. That is another fantastic thing that you all want to check out, definitely. And just look, overall, I've known Donnie now. How long have we known each other?
A couple of years for
Three,
sure.
4 years now.
Yeah.
Look, Donnie is a fantastic resource for all things networking, sales, marketing, business building. We've had many frank off-camera conversations, and look, anyone who's been following me for a while, I don't bring people into the group. I don't really do a lot of interviews. I have complete faith in Donnie's ability to make things happen the way they need to.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
All right, and I just really want to see, if you want the help, check him out. Thank you again, Donnie, for being here, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thanks, brother.